Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of UsoNatsu. This is being recorded pretty late once again. I actually had some chicken chow mein for dinner tonight, and then I was going to record this episode, but instead I got sidetracked. I was watching a bunch of IVE music videos, so you know how it is. This is the part where I'll probably put in a bunch of pictures of Yujin, because she's amazing. And anyway, last time they had, I feel like I already recorded this. I feel like I already recorded this episode for some reason. Last time, Riku and Kaoru got together, and Riku was like, "Don't worry, even if you end up stealing Shiori away from me, I'll always be friends, because as you know, sisters before... I don't know, it doesn't work. Sisters before misters doesn't work when they're all girls." But anyway, they got together. Kaoru had her parent-teacher conference. Miss Asahi hit on her mom, so now she's got one teacher that she was in love with, and now another teacher's hitting on her mom, so like, I don't even know what's happening anymore. She thought it was mega cringe. Shiori had a conference with her dad after Kaoru's, and Shiori was like, "I got something very important to tell you, but why don't you go ahead first while my dad and I have parent-teacher conferences?" And she had not finished her survey, so we will see how that plays out. Let's load our last save, which was, I think, the start of chapter 13. Yes, the start of chapter 13, 1 meter. And I can finally get rid of this extremely loud music. It's 10 o'clock in the morning on the first day of my summer break. I've got the house to myself since my mom and dad have already left for work. You could say that I'm home alone. Feeling anxious and on edge, I tried to distract myself by watching videos on my phone. You know what she's watching? She's watching videos of IVE. The reason why I'm feeling so antsy is pretty obvious. They haven't posted the new Yujin fan cam yet. Oh, man. I forgot how weird this monitor is. All the colors are like, they're not like really washed out, but if I look at it too high or too low, the colors get all funky. And it's a cheap monitor. It's fine though. Still no text from Shiori. Everything looks a lot paler than... I'm sorry, I interrupted your very important moment of getting a reply from your girl crush, Kaoru. Shiori? Just then, a notification appears. I immediately switched from the fan cam I was watching to the Loon app. An advertisement! I cry out in frustration. The text is about some kind of promotion from a clothing store I followed on social media to get free Loon stickers at some point. Oh, rest in peace. I can't say the store did anything wrong, especially since I signed up with my own free mill. But that doesn't stop me from venting my annoyance on them by hitting the unfollow button. Oh, rest in peace. Maybe I should send her a text first? She did say that she would be in touch with me, and we're both girls, so who is supposed to make the first move? On the other hand, that doesn't mean I have to wait to hear from her first. Well then, what kind of invitation should I send her? You should invite her to play Blue Protocol Star Resonance. Not sponsored, by the way. I haven't even played the game. I know nothing about it. I could tell her there's something I need to talk to her about, but I still haven't decided what I'm actually going to say. I'm not gonna make the joke. You already know what it is. While I definitely love Shiori, I still have lingering feelings for Shimotsuki Mide as well. Lingering? I hardly know her-ing. Okay, how about this? Considering an entire night has already passed, maybe it'll be better if I reach out to her first and ask if she wants to meet up. She already said she had something to tell me, right? Hypothetically speaking, if she told me she liked me, then I'd be able to bring up my dilemma. She better shut it, bang, bang. And admitting that dilemma would basically be akin to admitting my feelings for her. But what if that's not how she feels about me at all? That would be awkward. I mean, it's possible, right? After all, we're both girls, and as far as I'm aware, there's only 3 girl kissers. never really thought about it until now, but it's possible that Shiori just isn't attracted to women, which would kind of be a problem in our Yuri story. I haven't heard exactly why she turned down Riku's confession of love, so for all I know, gender may have been a factor. It's very possible that I'm projecting and getting a bit too carried away. Rest in peace. Ugh, murger. I groan in frustration. Groans of increasing frustration? Leaving my egotistical assumptions aside, if Shiori really does like me, and I tell her what's been on my mind, then that may simply invite more misunderstandings. What if she feels let down and ends up hating me? That possibility already crossed my mind yesterday. And yet, I've resolved to be honest with her. But how should I word this text? I better ask ChatGPT. Every time I try to construct a sentence in Loon, I just end up trashing it and starting from scratch. Spurred on by an urge to do something to calm down my restless mind, I decide to get changed. Fade to white. Those are those rare fade to whites, you know, usually you fade to black. Salutations. Feeling unbearably relentless, I get on the train. Hoo hoo hoo. My destination is Shiori's house. When Shiori had slept over at my house, my mom had asked her for her address so she could send over a summer greeting card, which is how I know where she lives. It's not because I've secretly been stalking her. It's late enough that I doubt Shiori's father would still be at home, but if he is, I brought some printouts from school to use as a cover story. It's hard to explain what the difference is between talking to her like this or over Loon, but for whatever reason, I'd rather reach out to her in person. Even if we end up not being able to have a serious conversation, we can at least have lunch together. Is my tracking off because I'm looking this far away? So the problem is every time I glance over to look at VTS, it's me looking at VTS. As the train car gently rocks back and forth, I mentally write out countless scripts in my head for how I might talk to her. In front of Minagi home. That's so funny. I don't know why that's so funny. I don't know why that's such a funny phrase. In front of Minagi house. Minagi house. It's like Lion House. Hello? Wait, hold on. I'm not gonna look at the thing. I'm trying to get Oh, can I not? Wait, hold on. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong things, that's why. Hello? Wait. Can I not do... Wait. Can I not do instant replay on the second monitor? When did that record? Oh no, it is working. Am I pressing the wrong things? Oh, I was just pressing the wrong buttons. Rest in peace. I was pressing FN Alt F10 instead of Shift Alt F10. Rest in peace. I think this is Oops. I think this is recording UsoNatsu now. I just can't tell because it's on my second monitor. The icon isn't showing up. Oh look, voice playback. Oh, it tells you. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. I really like that. This is Shiori's house. Shiori's house is about a 15-minute walk from the closest station I could find with my phone. The nameplate on the front says Minagi, so this is definitely her house. After all, there are no other Minagis. It's a fairly quiet residential neighborhood. The vibe here is very different from the area around my condo building. There are a lot of detached houses, many of which have old-fashioned architecture. I've never visited any of my friends' houses, aside from Sensei, of course. It looks just like the neighborhood that Rinka goes to in, I said Lion House, in Fatal 12. I think that's why I got so confused about Riku's name. I know Rinko Suzukino, and I know Rinka, in Fatal 12, I believe is her name. Is her name? I'm gonna have to look this up now. Is her name Rinka? I think it's Rinka. Rinka. Fatal 12. Yeah, Rinka Shishimai. And Rinko Suzukino. So, her being named Riku kind of threw me off. Actually, does it have her full name in the settings? Inohara Riku. Okay. I don't know why I can never remember her. It's because nobody ever calls her, refers to her their last name, you know? Like Tachibana, Kaoru always refers to Shiori, or like half the time refers to Shiori as Minagi Shiori. And, Shiori like exclusively calls her Tachibana-san. And so nobody does that with Riku. They all just call her Riku. And that's why I just forget what her name is. I went to a private middle school and had no idea if anyone lived close enough to me for that to be possible. Because of that, I don't think I've been to anyone else's house since elementary school. For what to be possible?
Yes.
Here goes. Oh, friends' houses. Din din, with newfound determination, I ring the bell. Dum, 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 dum. One of you will keep track of how many times I did that to figure out what time of day I was doing, because I wasn't paying attention. Several seconds passed with no answer. I tried ringing the bell one more time, but there's still no response. So, you know what? Just for good measure, I decide that maybe they're home, but they're just asleep. Or maybe their doorbell isn't quite loud enough, so I better keep ringing it. I consider sending her a text, but the message saying, "I'm outside your house," just sounds like the type of thing you'd expect to see in a horror movie. Maybe she went out somewhere, in which case I can pretend like this never happened, just like ServPro. Deciding to just go home if she doesn't answer the door, I ring the bell one last time. And this time her voice immediately comes through the intercom. Tachibana? Her voice sounds weak. I know that she can see me through the camera hooked up to the intercom. Editor Neon, this is your moment to zoom in, punch in really close to my face. But immediately after, I hear a loud bang from inside the house. Oh, she's listening to Dilemma.
Shiori?
Knowing that whatever must happen must be serious, I rush to open the door, please. But it's locked, and no matter how frantically I yank on it, there's no sign of Shiori coming to open it from inside. Something weird is definitely going on here. I notice an open window on the ground floor and decide to take off my shoes and enter the house through there. Shiori, open the door, please. Shiori, open the door. Shiori, can we not fight anymore, please? Can we not fight anymore? Shiori, sure, you're scared. I've been there. This kind of reminds, before we get into this, just because I have an idea of what might happen, and this might be a fake out, but just in case, I want to talk about this now, so I don't end up like completely ruining the gravity of the situation by talking about this in a few seconds. This room reminds me a lot of the house in Variable Barricade. From the very little that I remember from about the hour and a half that I played Variable Barricade, this room reminds me of that house. It also kind of reminds me of the house in Goddess Cafe Terrace, or Goddess Terrace Cafe, or whatever it was. And with this, we will now move on to what could potentially be something that I might need to put a warning in the front of the video for. I call out Shiori's name after climbing inside. The inside of the house is immaculate, and I immediately spot Shiori in the living room. She's slumped against the wall next to the intercom. Her face is flushed bright red, and she's gasping for breath. Okay, well this is not what I thought was gonna happen. This is not even the second thing that I thought was gonna happen. Tachibana, what are you doing here? I thought that maybe she might have been so surprised and blushy crushy about seeing Kaoru outside of her home that she just was in shock, and then she very weakly answered, and then she knocked something over, and that was the loud sound. But no, it looks like she's just sick.
体熱い。話は後。待ってて。
You're burning through the sky, 100 degrees. That's why they call you Mr. Fahrenheit. I'll explain later. Hang on. Yuri is in her pajamas, which are soaked through with sweat. Okay. I have to get her cooled down first. I think to myself as I guide her over to the couch and lay her down.
ごめん。借りるね。
Sorry, but I need to borrow some stuff. I can't just strip you down. After all, this game is rated PG-13, I think. Actually, no, I don't think it is, actually. I actually don't think this game is rated PG-13. One, I don't think Steam uses ESRB ratings. I don't think they do. Do they? Does Steam use the ESRB? I'm actually kind of curious about that. Let's see. It just says that it's not suitable for all ages and that there's a mature content description. I don't know. I don't see anything. There's not an age restriction on it. So it might be rated M for mature at the most, maybe. But it doesn't make me enter my age, I don't think. I head towards what looks like the bathroom, grab a couple of hand towels, soak them in cold water, and bring them back. I try placing one of the wet towels on her forehead, but her skin is so hot damn, that the water evaporates almost instantly. We better call the police and the fireman. She's too hot. I don't think any of you want me to do that into the mic, so I just won't.
とりあえず熱測って着替えさせてスポーツドリンク飲ませてって私が落ち着かないと
For now, I'm gonna take your temperature, change you out of those clothes, and get yourself a Gatorade. Not sponsored. And I need to calm the heck down. After she tells me where the thermometer is, I take her temperature and see it's over 39 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is. I don't do Celsius, but I know it's not good. The thought that I should call for an ambulance crosses my mind, but she hasn't hit 40 degrees yet, and she's still conscious. Her breathing sounds heavy, but otherwise normal. So it's probably better to simply keep an eye on her for now.
じゃあ着替え
I
よう
got my eye on you.
じゃあ体冷えちゃうから
Let's get you into different clothes. You'll catch a chill otherwise.
恥ずかしいです
That's too embarrassing. And I finally realized what those things in her sprite sheet are for. It's for this scene. It's for her in the cold sweat. I saw these like sweat droplets as part of her character sprite sheet, and then the entire time I was just like, what are these for? Is it for her crying? No, it's just for her being sweaty.
そんなこと言ってる場合じゃないよほら着替えの場所を教えて
You can't afford to worry about that kind of thing right now. Come on, tell me where your clothes are. I need your boots, your clothes, and your motorcycle.
せめて自分で持ってきます
At least let me get them myself.
いや一緒に行こうベッドもそっちでしょ
We'll go together. Your bedroom is over there, right? The fact that she can still answer me makes me feel a little better. She's clearly suffering from a high fever, but she's not completely out of it mentally. Shiori can only nod at my suggestion as the two of us head in the direction of her bedroom. Her room is empty aside from the most basic essentials. So empty, in fact, that we're not even going to create a CG for it. Or a background. You're just going to get a black screen with the text box. For someone who claims to love Mocha the cow as much as she does, there's only one stuffed animal on her bed, and I don't see any keychains, button badges, or any other types of fan merchandise. Rest in peace, fake fan. Feeling bad about snooping around in her room while she's suffering from a high fever, I refocus my attention on the matter at hand. I mean, maybe she has her own mocho room. You don't know. You know? Theoretically, there's got to be another bedroom in this house, right? For her brother? Maybe she's converted her brother's room into, like, the mocho room. I help Shiori get over to her bed before laying her down on it. Oh, maybe we will get a CG. We do. I think I do have to put in a warning in for this video now. I'm so sorry about all this. That's a bruise, right? Oh wait, hold on. Is that... Let me look at the previous... I have my file folder open. And file folder, it's File Explorer. I have my folder open that has all of my UsoNatsu screenshots in it. I'm going to take a quick look to see, where's that picture of her changing? Yeah, it's the same spot. Well, it looks a little bit higher than it did in the previous CG. Her bandage. The bruise looks a little bit higher than... You don't have to apologize. Come on, time to get those clothes off. I've got something for this. I've got something for this. Hold on. Hold on. I have something exactly for this moment. I have a soundbite that was made for this exact moment. And there has never been a better time for it if I could actually find it. Where is it? Where is it? I've gone past it. Where is it? Where is it?
Bruh. Bruh.
No, the bandage looks like... I'm gonna move this over to my... Everything's on my second monitor. I gotta move it over to my main monitor now. It looks like her bruise is a little bit higher than where the bandage is, but that could just be different angles and some inconsistencies with the art, so... Okay... Is this a different... No, it's all pretty much the same. Her skin, which is normally so pale, is now red over. What's diligent and soft-spoken and red all over? Shiori. Oh no, she has a mark on her thigh. I didn't notice before. Huh. Oh, also, I didn't realize that her mocha pajamas, these are the pajamas that she bought with Kaoru right at the start of the game. I didn't realize that her mocha pajamas were shorts. Wait, are these the same? Wait, are they? Wait, I thought her mocha pajamas had pants. Oh no, I guess not. I always assumed they had pants because in her sprite you only see her from the waist up. And when she's holding them in the store, you can't really see anything below the waist. But no, I'm looking at the screenshot of the CG when they're lying in bed together because they get spooked by the thunder. She's wearing shorts there too. I just never noticed that. Huh. So she's got a... So I don't know, it's hard to tell if these are I think these are supposed to be bruises. Because this is where she said she had the bandage before to cover up the bruise. I can't believe nobody saw this bruise on her thigh, though. I mean, I know she wears tights, but I feel like somebody would have seen them during... Wait, hold on. Is that visible? Is the inside of her leg, is that visible in that gym, that pool CG that we got? No, it is not. The inside of her right thigh is not visible, which is the thigh that she has the bruise on. But it might have been visible just from the shorts that she's wearing. So if this isn't her, if this isn't just them trying to make her look sick, this bruise must have happened recently. I can practically feel the heat rising from her body after simply taking her shirt off. Bullying girls? Not cool, Kaoru. No, this isn't the time for that. I begin wiping her body down while trying to keep my mind clear of unnecessary thoughts. Numba.
ごめん、痛かった。
Oops, sorry, did that hurt? She shakes her head weakly from side to side, lacking the energy to reply with words. There's an option for another Shioriana Grandagi thing in here, but I'm not gonna do it. You know. My hand barely brushes against her skin, and yet I can feel how hot she is. I have a feeling her temperature is higher than it was when I checked it a moment ago. I wonder why. I'm also not gonna do this. I'm also not gonna do this into the mic. I barely wiped her body down, and the towel is already saturated. I continue wiping the sweat from her body, while occasionally swapping out the wet towel on her forehead. What wet towel? Her unfamiliar tone of voice rattles my composure as I start to wipe down her skin beneath her underwear. I replace her tight bra with a more relaxed and comfortable t-shirt, meaning that we can move away from this CG and move on to what's probably going to be the two of them with sprites and maybe a new background for her room.
じゃあ下も脱がすよ
I'm going to take off your pants now.
自分でできます
Oh, wait. I can do that myself.
大丈夫任せて
It's okay. Let me handle it.
私が大丈夫じゃないですから
Well, I'm not okay with it. Bullying girls? Not cool, Kaoru. Despite her insistence that she can handle it herself, her body remains limp, and it's clear she's having a hard time moving.
本当に大丈夫なので
I'm really fine. I can do it myself. Now you two won't be mad at us anymore. Da-da-da-da-da-da, we're monetized. We're not monetized. At some point in the future, if you're watching this, we may be monetized, but at the current moment of recording, not monetized. HH, ellipses. HH, ellipses. I end up wiping off her lower body and change her into different clothes. We cut to black here because YouTube definitely won't let us get away with that. Neither will the Gaming Control Board, even though they have nothing to do with video games. They deal with gambling. My body feels like it's getting almost as hot as hers, but I'm able to get the job done, for now. She still feels as hot before, and she definitely looks as hot as before, but at least now she's not covered in sweat, so she should be able to rest easier.
この隙にスポーツドリンク買ってくるねあとなんかゼリーとかそういうのも
I'm gonna get you a Gatorade, okay? And maybe some jelly while I'm at it. Now, here's the thing. I don't know what kind of jelly she's talking about. Now, is she talking about jelly, like American jelly, what the British might call jam, even though jam and jelly are different things, because jam typically has some sort of chunks or seeds in it, and jelly has pectin in it? Or are they talking about jellies like jelly beans, or are they talking jellies like jello, or like what are they talking? I have a feeling they're talking about jello, because that's usually something that you give to people when they have fevers because it's cool and it's basically just water. It looks like she nods in response to my monologue, but it's probably just my imagination. I'd come here thinking we might enjoy some lunch together, which ended up not being the case, but I'm glad I decided to stop by anyway. You could still enjoy lunch together. Don't let her being sick stop you from enjoying lunch together.
でもあの傷は
Still, those injuries. Shiori's body is covered in wounds, and new scars as well. Her skin is so flushed from the fever that they don't stand out that much, but it's clear that she's hurt. Changing her out of her sweat-soaked clothes was my top priority, and it's not like she's in any state to answer my questions right now regardless.
転んだってわけじゃなかったよね
You didn't just fall down, did you? A terrible mental image flashes through my mind. Shiori was physically abused by her father in the past. That was never actually confirmed beyond all doubt, but given the circumstances, it was obvious enough. And so with that in mind, when I see these new injuries on her body, I can only think,
そういうのは後。まずは目の前のことをどうにかしないと。
no, that's not important right now. I have to deal with her fever first. I force the image of her amicably smiling father out of my mind. I take the house key from its place in the front hall and decide to head out to pick up a few things. Mocha the cow. Oh. It's now nighttime. After getting Shiori into changed into different clothes, I buy some drinks, jellies, fruit, and fever medicine. She's awake when I return from my shopping trip, and so instead of lunch, she eats some of the jellies and takes some of the medicine. By the time evening rolls around, her fever has dropped to 37 degrees Celsius. It's probably thanks to the medicine, but it's a huge improvement over how she was when I first showed up at around noon. It's already dark outside before I know it.
はい、リンゴ。しおりにも食欲ない時があるんだね。
Here, have an apple. I guess even you lose your appetite sometimes, huh?
そういうこと言わないでください。でも、ありがとうございます。
Come on, don't tease me. But I do appreciate the help. Game? Excuse me. I peel the apple for her before handing it over. She doesn't seem to have much of an appetite, which might be the most shocking thing of all right now, but I hope she can at least eat some fruit.
うさぎ。
Oh, bunny apple slices.
いいでしょ。なんか風邪の時にこういうの嬉しかったなーって。
Pretty cute, right? It always cheers me up when I'm sick, so I figured you'd probably enjoy it.
実はちょうど夢に見ていたんです。
I do. Actually, I just had a dream about those. Shiori does dream of bunny slices. What?
お兄ちゃんが昔リンゴのうさぎを作ってくれた時のこと。こんなにうまくなくてもっと不揃いな形でしたけれど。
My brother used to make me bunny apple slices a long time ago, though his never looked this good. They were clumsy and weird looking.
そっか、偶然だね。
Yeah? What a weird coincidence.
こういう些細なことでも忘れてしまうものですね。きっかけがないと忘れたまま。
I'd actually forgotten all about that. I probably would have never remembered such a trivial part of my life if not for this moment. They would have stayed in the past, where they belong.
でもさ、いい思い出だったんじゃない？なら思い出せてよかったね。
It seems like a pretty happy memory to me, though, right? So maybe it's a good thing I helped you remember.
はい、おっしゃる通りです。
Yeah, you're right.
食べたら薬飲んでまた横になってるんだよ。熱が下がってちょっと元気な気分なのかもだけど、まだ具合悪そうなんだから。
Eat some food, take your medicine, and then have another rest, okay? You should start feeling better now that your fever's going down, but you still look pretty sick, and not like the radical kind of sick.
もう少しでお父さんが帰ってくるので、食事の準備だけしてしまいます。
My dad's going to be home soon, so I need to at least make sure his dinner is ready.
いやいや、具合悪いんだから寝てないと。
Nope, not a chance. If you're not feeling well, you need to rest.
ですが、
But I can tell she won't budge no matter what I say, so I come up with a compromise.
じゃあ今日のご飯は私が作っておくから、それでね、あとは温めるだけ。
How about I make dinner then? Okay? All you'll have to do is warm it up, you know, like craft dinner.
そんな、でも
What? You can, but
気にしないで。ここまで看病してたんだから一緒だよ。だからそこで休んでてね。
don't worry about it. I took care of you this far, right? I'm not just gonna abandon you, so just rest and let me handle it.
わかりました。ただ
Okay. Just
ただ
just
立花さんの手料理なら 私も食べたかったです。
If you're going to be cooking, please make enough so I can try some as well. Who let her cook?
心配しなくても多めに作るよ。だから明日食べな。
No need to fear. I'll make sure there's plenty. You can have some tomorrow. Okay. I consider my options as I look through the contents of the fridge. After checking with Shiori to make sure the ingredients in the fridge are fair game, I take out some pork chops. The kitchen is so sparkling clean that it almost feels like a display room in a furniture store. This must be another result of Shiori's meticulous nature.
あのさ、
Hey, as I chop up some cabbage into thin strips, I decide to ask her a question that's been bothering me. It's about the wounds on her body. I know it's probably better if I pretend like I didn't see them, but I want to confirm my suspicions, and so I decide to broach the topic and see how she reacts.
おや
Well. Just then, I'm interrupted by a voice I've heard several times before. Shiori's father has just arrived home from work.
見慣れない靴があると思ったら青波高校の橘さんだね。
I thought those shoes in the hallway looked unfamiliar. Tachibana-san, right? One of Shiori's classmates.
これはどういうことかな、しおり。食事の時間はとっくに過ぎているようだけれど。
What's going on, Shiori? It's long past dinner time.
しおりの家に学校のプリントを届けに来たら高熱を出していたんです。それで心配で看病していました。勝手に家に上がってすみませんでした。
I stopped by to bring Shiori a printout she needed for her homework and noticed she had a high fever. I was worried, so I took care of her. Sorry for basically inviting myself over. Noticing the hint of fear in her expression, I find myself hastily covering for her. There's no way I can admit I came here just to talk, but the reasons I gave seem plausible enough. Shiori's father seems as laid back as always, without even a trace of anger, and yet the reason why I'm as flustered as I am is pretty obvious.
なるほど、そういうことだったか。
Okay. I see. So that's what happened.
ということは、橘さんは僕の食事をしおりの代わりに作ってくれているということかな。
Does that mean I have you to thank for dinner tonight instead of Shiori?
はい。
Yes.
私が勝手にやったことなので、すみません。
She didn't ask me to. I volunteered. I'm sorry.
謝ることはないよ。むしろ僕の方がお礼を言わなくてはいけないね。そして娘のことで迷惑をかけてしまいすまないね。
There's no need to apologize. Rather, I should be thanking you. I'm sorry you ended up spending the day here taking care of my daughter.
だけどここまで用意してくれれば十分だよ。20時も過ぎているし、親御さんも心配するはずだ。
With that said, you've done more than enough. It's already past 8 p.m. I'm sure your parents are worried about you. It's 8 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
いや、親には連絡してるので。
Oh, I already called them up and told them where I was.
そうか。なら安心だね。けれどもう大丈夫だよ。
I just noticed he has a really small face compared to like the rest of the characters. Huh. That's kind of interesting. I don't think it's really that much smaller. It might be closer to like Kaoru's face size, but because his chin is so like long and pointy, his face is so narrow and his hair is short, and his part, you see so much more of his forehead, so it makes his whole face look smaller. You did! That's a relief! Still, I assure you I've got things under control now. He says that while standing with his back perfectly straight. It makes him appear polite, and like he's giving me his full attention, despite his strictness regarding Shiori's education. Regarding? The idea of confronting him directly about Shiori's injuries briefly crosses my mind. But I quickly come up with a lot of reasons why that would be a bad idea, and the thought passes.
しおり、橘さんの作業を引き継ぎなさい。これ以上迷惑をかけてはいけないだろう。
Shiori, go ahead and take over. You don't want to inconvenience Tachibana-san more than you already have, right? She's gonna get her germs all over your food, bro. Just let her cook. Let her cook.
いや本当に
It's really not a problem.
立花さん、ありがとうございました。私はもう大丈夫ですから任せてください。
Thank you for everything you've done, Tachibana-san. I'm fine now, so let me take care of it. I'll make sure to give him H1... What was it? What was the H1N1? H1N1, right? The bird flu? To be fair, the rice and miso soup are both finished, so all that's left is to grill the meat. But they don't think it's safe to make Shiori stand in the kitchen when she still has a fever. After all, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen.
大丈夫です、本当に。
I'll be okay, really. Despite her words, the moment she tries to get to her feet, she loses her balance and almost falls over. And she stumbles! Being on the opposite side of the room from her, there's nothing I can do, but her father steps in to catch her.
おっ
Careful.
と熱は引いたものかと思っていた。悪いことをしたね。
I thought your fever was gone. I apologize.
夕飯のことは気にしなくていい。あとは僕が自分でやるから、しおりは部屋で休んでいなさい。
Don't worry about dinner. I'll take it from here, Shiori, so go back to your room and get some rest.
でも
But
無理をしてはいけないよ。いいね。
you shouldn't be pushing yourself this hard, okay?
はい、ありがとう、お父さん。
Yeah. Thanks, Dad. His words help alleviate some of the dread that's gripped me since he arrived. I thought it was weird that he was about to make Shiori cook dinner when she was that sick, but to be fair, he only just got home and didn't see how bad she'd been earlier. His initial reaction still kind of bothers me, but it's clear that he cares about her.
立花さん、ありがとうございました。本当に助かりました。
Thank you, Tachibana-san. You've been a huge help. I mean it. I always think it's interesting looking at her sprites because Shiori is, so from the characters we've seen so far, the only character to have a sprite with eyes like this. And actually, I want to find a picture of her with her eyes open so I can compare. This is still her concerned face. I want something with her eyes open. What they've done here is actually a really interesting thing to make this happen, as opposed to like all the other characters. She actually, what they've done is they've just removed two of the things that make part of her her eyes. Like they removed two of her little like eye reflection bubble things, you know, the white dots that give them their shine. They've just removed those from her, from like this version of her sprite. So normally she has these two white dots in the
またね。じゃあお大事に。
so around right here. She usually has two white kind of oval shapes right here and right here, and they've removed those from her sprite here, which gives her the kind of dead eye, like the dead fish eye look. And I think she's the only character in the game that has something like that. And she does it sometimes. Usually she does it when Kaoru and Riku are being stupid, and she's like, Tachibana. But she also does it like every time she gets freaked out by her dad. So most of the time they use it and they're just playing it off for comedy. But it's really interesting because she's the only character that has something like this, and it just is way more apparent in the sprites as opposed to like, I was just thinking about like how this would work with a real life person. You would have to like really do a lot of work and make it really noticeable to kind of get the same kind of effect. But here they make it super noticeable by just removing two parts that she's almost always has every time you look at her. So suddenly everything feels off. Like the depth is gone, the shading is gone. It ruins like the pop of her eyes that make them look more three-dimensional. So they end up looking really flat. I just thought that was interesting. Thank you, Tachibana-san. You've been a huge help. I mean it. No problem. I'll see you later. Feel better. Shiori returns to her room, her footsteps still a little unsteady, but far better compared to how she was earlier in this afternoon. Shiori's father turns back to me, the hint of a smile on his lips.
僕からも改めてお礼を言わせてもらうよ。それと、今日はたくさん迷惑をかけてしまったようだね。
Thank you again for all your help today. I'm sorry for the trouble you had to go through. He hands me some money.
しおりのために薬や飲み物などを買ってもらったようだ。足りるかわからないが、余った分は交通費にしてもらえればいい。
I noticed you bought some medicine and drinks for Shiori. This should hopefully be enough to cover it, and you can use what's left to cover it over to pay for your train ticket home.
いや、そんな。
Oh, it's fine. You don't have to.
こういう時は受け取ってもらわなければメンツが立たないというものだ。今後はご友人に迷惑をかけないよう、しおりにはきちんと伝えておく。
Considering the situation, it'll make me look bad if you don't accept. I'll be having a talk with Shiori so she never bothers your friends like this again, cracks Knuckles.
本当に迷惑だなんて思っていないです。しおりさんが困ったら助けたいですから。
I swear that none of what happened today bothered me in the slightest. I saw she was in trouble and I wanted to help.
そうか、ありがとう。しおりはいいご友人を持ったようだね。もう暗いし、駅まで送ろうか。
Really? Then I appreciate it. It seems like Shiori has a good friend. It's already pretty dark out, so at least let me drive you to the station. Can I talk about something? I might have talked about this before. I can't tell if this is an intentional part of her clothing or if it's just the chain for her bag that's keeping, like, bunching up with her top here. Like, I don't know. This doesn't look like it's supposed to be doing this. But I don't know if that is how it's supposed to be or if it is just her bag.
いえ、大丈夫です。しおりさんもまた熱が上がるかもしれませんし、ついてあげててください。
It's fine. I can walk. Besides, there's a chance your fever might return, so I'd feel better if you were here, just in case.
わかった。ではそうさせてもらおう。この辺りは街灯も少なくて暗い。近くにバス停があるから、駅まではバスで行くといい。
Fair enough. Well, go ahead. But keep in mind there aren't many streetlights around here. Oh, that's not his voice. Fair enough. Well then, go ahead, but keep in mind there aren't many streetlights around here, and it can get pretty dark. There's a bus stop nearby, so maybe you should ride the bus to the train station. I want to find a picture of Kaoru's dad, of Atsushi. Do I even have a picture of Atsushi? I do have a picture of Atsushi. This is really interesting. I want to keep talking about the eyes, because the eyes for these characters are so unique. They remind me very much of like the Your Lie in April eyes, or like the Farewell My Dear Kramer expressions, in the sense that Shiori, Kaoru, Riku, Koharu, and I believe Mire and Asahi. Here's a picture of Asahi, yes. And here's a picture of Mire, yeah. They all do this thing where their eyes have this kind of gear kind of pattern, this cog kind of flower bloom pattern. And Kaoru's dad does not have this. His eyes are very round, but his are very egg-shaped. He's got very large eyes, and his pupils are egg-shaped. They're kind of oblong. Not really oblong, but they're more kind of like an oval shape. Whereas Naomasa's eyes, he has very narrow eyes and a very flat face. He kind of reminds me of Samejima from Mamiya. That would have been a good voice. And the more we're learning about him, the more I think the Samejima voice would be better for him, although I think that might be too menacing. But he has very round eyes. His eyes are very round, and even though he has similar pupils to Atsushi and all the other characters just being dots, they almost, just because of how narrow his eyes are, almost give a sort of like slit kind of snake eye impression. I don't know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just look up Samajima or Mamiya, just like Mamiya Samajima or like Samajima Mamiya. He very much so reminds me of Naomasa, and Samajima is kind of weird. I might end up replaying Mamiya on the channel, so I don't know if I want to say anything, but he's a lot less Naomasa and a lot more like Jeffrey Dahmer. So yeah. Anyway, the voice I gave for Samajima, if he talks again, I'll use the Samajima voice.
はい
Good
わかりました。
idea. I nod in agreement, and Shiori's father proceeds to tell me where the stop is and what time the bus would show up. His demeanor is almost unnervingly polite, but I can tell his actions are motivated by kindness, very similar to Samajima.
お邪魔しました。いろいろありがとうございました。
I'll be on my way now. Thank you for your help. I'm actually gonna check. Is Mamiya also made by the same... Let me check. Kenko Land, developer Kenko Land, Fruit Bat Factory. UsoNatsu, I think, is Lycoris, right? Didn't we figure that out? Yeah, and Sekai Project, which do Fatal 12, which is why there's the achievement.
お礼を言うのはこちらだよ。では気をつけて。
And thank you as well. Be careful getting home. After thanking Shiori's father, I leave their house. That's the voice I did for Samajima, and I could have done that voice for Naomasa thinking about it, but I almost feel like that's too sinister. I'm still not exactly sure how to feel about all this. Imagine if I read all of his voice lines like this. He presents as being very kind, but we know that he's got something twisted inside of him. And I feel like giving him this voice, although it would be very fitting for his character, would not match the facade that he puts on. After leaving their house and making sure I still have some time until the next bus shows up, I stop for a minute and think back on what happened. I think I was too close to the mic when I did that, so if I blew out the mic there, I apologize. I never felt like Shiori was bothering me in any way, or that she'd been inconveniencing me, and yet Shiori's father wouldn't stop talking as if she had. Inconveniencing me. That's a word that's spelled like it could be maybe like a $4 word. It's only natural to want to avoid inconveniencing other people as much as possible, but I felt like Shiori's father was taking it to extremes. Then again, maybe my family's just especially relaxed about that kind of stuff. I have a feeling that might be part of the case. Combination of both. But also, those injuries. Beating your daughter? Not cool now, Masa. In the end, I didn't get a chance to ask her about them. I jumped to the conclusion that her father had caused them, though a part of me wonders if a person who could inflict that kind of violence on their own daughter would have shown as much concern over her as I've personally witnessed. People can be kind of weird, Kaoru. I would never let that dissuade you from thinking that somebody may or may not be abusing a family member, or a spouse, or a partner, or even just like a friend or a coworker. It clashes with the image I have in my head of what an abuser looks like, and that's the problem, Kaoru. He doesn't strike me as violent at all. In fact, he comes off as exceptionally rational. But that could be why. He's rationally violent. The scariest kind of violent. I should probably talk to Shiori directly, instead of jumping to conclusions. Just as I'm setting off in the direction of the bus stop, as I was glancing up, the You As You Were had... I hear a loud voice coming from the direction of Shiori's house. The door and the walls muffle the sound enough that I can't tell what's being said, but in this quiet residential neighborhood, I can definitely hear that there's something going on, even from this distance. I like how it's like M dashes in the thing, because she can't hear, but I feel like you could totally understand what he's saying. The intensity in his voice makes it pretty clear that he's not talking to himself. I mean, you don't know that. Kaoru. Once again, you said that he doesn't fit your picture of an abuser and that you don't think anybody like him could ever be beating up his own daughter. Maybe he's got like a Dr. Jekyll and Hyde, like a Jekyll and Hyde or like Two-Face thing going on, you know? Maybe he is yelling to himself. Which means his only target can be Shiori. Shiori, open the door, please. Shiori, please open the door. Shiori, can you not fight with your dad anymore, please? Can you not fight anymore? Shiori, I'm sure you're scared. I haven't been there. I can set you free. Shiori, don't make me come in there. I'm gonna count 2, 3.
しおり
Wait, hold on. Does this mean that Shiori is Veronica and her dad is JD? Does that mean he's gonna try and blow up whatever their school is called? I immediately turn around and ring the bell to the house. It's hard for me to imagine him yelling at her like that, considering her fever. But when I hear her father's friendly greeting through the intercom, I immediately regret getting involved.
橘さん、どうかしたのかな?
I really want to switch his voice to Samajima's voice just for the association. I'm going to do it for this episode. I think in the future I'm going to continue using the Ba voice because it's just easier to do. The thing that really got me with Samajima was when I had to do his section of Mamiya, it was just that voice constantly, and that got really hard. So just for this episode, because he's really like wilding in this one. I think I'm gonna do this to him. He doesn't deserve the Bakula voice. Bakula is too good to be associated with Naomasa. Tachibana-san, what's wrong?
いや忘れ物をしたと思ったんですけど気のせいでした
Oh,
失礼しました
I thought I forgot something, but I didn't. Sorry for bothering you.
それならよかった。ではお気をつけて。
I'm glad to hear it. In that case, get home safe. Maybe I should do voice switching for him. Maybe I should every time he's freaking out. Although I feel like we'll never see him freak out. Like I feel like we'll never get voice lines where he's freaking out in front of Kaoru. So I don't know. I wait to hear the sound of him disconnecting the intercom before setting off once more. Even if I tried to intervene, could I really change anything? You could Hoshiai no Sora him. That's always an option. If I did, it would most likely be for the worse. That is true. That doesn't stop you from Hoshiai no Soraing him. I strained my ears in the direction of the house, but the angry shouting seems to have stopped. Crap! Seeing the bus I'm supposed to be boarding off in the distance, I run in the direction of the stop. I sit there the entire ride home, clenching my fists helplessly, while praying that Shiori doesn't suffer any more abuse tonight. I sit there the entire ride home? Oh, I guess she got on the bus. That was kind of a weird jump. It was like, I run off to the bus stop. I sit there the entire way home, like on the bus stop all the way home? What? Doesn't make any sense.
どうして分かってくれないの
Why don't you understand? What was his
カオちゃ
voice?
ん落ち着いてハツシ君に怒ってもどうしようもないよ
Oh, I'm sorry. Why don't you understand? Kao-chan, calm down. I know you're angry, but you won't change anything by yelling at your dad.
そんなの分かってるでも
I know that. It's just... I don't want to actually yell. That'd be loud. It's late at night. I made it back home, ate dinner, and then told my parents what had happened at Shiori's house. How I found Shiori with a high fever, and then subsequently discovered the injuries on her body while taking care of her. I hesitate, unsure how much I should say, but I know they won't understand if I don't give them the full story leading up to this incident, so I mentioned how she's been physically abused at least until middle school. And yet, my dad's reaction remained unchanged, from beginning to end. He's stoic.
他の家庭に口出しするもんじゃない。
What was it? His voice? Oh yeah, his voice was something like this, wasn't it? Don't meddle in other people's family affairs for the sake of harmony. He just kept obstinately saying that. Obstinately. Good word. It's the exact opposite of what I thought he'd tell me when I asked for advice on what I should do.
まず、南さんのお父さんが暴力を振るっている証拠が何かあるわけではないだろう。
This is phrased really strangely. First of all, you don't actually have any definitive proof that Minagi-san's father is abusing his daughter. What? This doesn't make any sense. First of all, you don't have any definitive proof that Minagi-san's father is abusing his daughter. That should be Minagi-san's father is abusing her. What?
じゃあしおりに証拠集めをしてもらえば。
So, then if Shiori collects enough evidence, will that...
しおりちゃんはもう高校生だ。必要だと思えば自分で思いついて実行しているはずだ。やっていないなら理由がある。
Shiori-chan's already in high school. If she felt she needed help, I'm sure she would have done something herself by now. Since she hasn't, she must have her reasons.
それに例えば録音や録画っていう証拠があったって簡単に解決するような問題じゃない。
Even if she were to take an audio recording or video, that wouldn't suddenly solve all her problems.
暴力を糾弾してスカッと解決とはならないんだ。その限りの問題じゃない。被害者も加害者も今後があるから長い目で見る必要がある。
You may think that she'll expose him and everything will be resolved, but it's far more complicated. The abuser and victim have a relationship that will continue beyond this moment, so you have to keep the future in mind. I feel like I lost his voice as that went on. Ah yes, I do declare that Neon has decidedly lost the Atsushi voice. As time goes on, he has a looser and looser grasp on what the voice is supposed to sound like.
専門家じゃない俺たちが迂闊に動けば悪化する可能性だってある。家庭内暴力っていうのはデリケートな問題なんだ。
None of us here are experts. If we act carelessly, we could make things even worse. Domestic violence is a sensitive and complicated problem, you know.
さっきしおりちゃんの家から音がして一度戻ってインターホンを押したって言ったよな。
You said you heard some kind of commotion coming from Shiori-chan's house, so you went back and rang the bell.
仮に直前まで言葉だけで済んでいたことが薫が戻ったのをきっかけに悪化したらどうするつもりだったんだ？
At the time, all you heard was shouting, but what would you have done if things escalated further when you returned?
だって
But I couldn't just...
今の質問に答えが出ない時点で深入りするべきじゃない。
If you don't have a good answer for that, then you'd better think things through before getting involved.
俺だって薫の気持ちはわかる。だけどこれはそれぞれの家庭の問題なんだ。
I understand how you feel, Kaoru, but this is her family's problem to deal with, not ours. If she really wants to deal with it herself, then... Well, have you ever seen Hoshiano Sora?
光にわかるなって言わないで。
Don't tell me you understand. In short, my dad refuses to help in any way. Now I wish I'd at least taken some photos while I was cleaning Shiori up.
やっぱり私の気持ち分かってくれないんだ。血が繋がってないから。
You don't understand how I feel at all. How could you, when you're not even my real dad? Dang, she hit him with the "you're not my real dad."
カオちゃん
Kao-chan! I know that was an awful thing to say, but it's too late to take it back.
何？
What?
それは絶対言っちゃダメ。ずっと話を聞いてたけど敦くんは間違ったことを言ってないよ。他の家庭の暴力や虐待は私たちがどうにかできる問題じゃない。
Also, this is the perfect time that you can see what I'm talking about. His eyes. They look a lot different from Naomasa's eyes. See how they've got this nice kind of like egg shape? And how both of their eyes have these kind of like dun 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 pattern. They have the same eyes. She has her mother's eyes. She also has her mother's hair that we saw from the CG before she dyed it. Is it dying or is it... I guess it is dying. You really couldn't... Well, I don't know. Maybe she bleached her hair. Never say those words. Ever. I've been listening this entire time and I don't disagree with anything your dad said. Violence and abuse in other people's families is not a problem we can do anything about.
カオちゃんが家出した時ね、私たちは警察にそういうことをたくさん聞かれた。その時を覚えてるからこそ、迂闊なことは言えないの。
When you ran away from home, the police grilled us about our home life. I remember what we went through back then, and I'm not in a hurry to inflict it on anyone else without a very good reason.
小春、それは。
Kaoru, are you sure we should... Or you should...
かおちゃんはもう高校生だから。だからこそちゃんと話さなきゃ分かってもらえないし、話せば分かってくれるよ。
I know this is a really serious conversation they're talking about, but I sort of like can't take them seriously with their accents, and I know that that's my fault because I gave them these accents, but we have to commit to the voices. Kao-chan is old enough now. She needs to hear about this so that she'll understand.
その時に私たちもたくさん調べたよ。
We had to go through a grueling investigation process.
暴力が本当にあるなら、命に関わることなら保護しなくちゃいけない。
If there were indications of domestic violence, if your life was in danger, then they'd need to take appropriate actions to protect you.
だから敦くんは私たちが何もできないって言っただけで、まずは児童相談所や担任の先生に相談するつもりだったと思うよ。
Which is why when your dad said we can't do anything, he only meant directly. I'm sure he was still planning on contacting a child welfare agency or your homeroom teacher to talk about what's going on.
ああ、今の薫は感情的になっているから、そういうことは俺が引き受けようと思ってたよ。
Right. I can tell you're feeling emotional about this, which is why I figured it'd be best if I took over.
じゃあ
Then why... I'm about to ask why he didn't just tell me that in the first place, but I immediately realized it's because of how I'm acting right now. She's still a teenager. Even if I did try to call someone, there's no way I'd be able to give a rational explanation of the situation, considering the mental state I'm in. The only reason mom and dad are listening to me at all is because I'm their daughter. I remember what Riku told me.
騒ぎだけが大きくなって、問題は何も解決できなかった。
I ended up making a whole lot of noise and trouble without actually solving her problem.
証拠と言えるものはないけど、おそらく事件の後、一時的に暴力はかなりひどくなった。
I can't prove this part, but I think the abuse got even worse for a while after that.
でも、その時にはもう、私は勘でしかそのことに気づけなかった。しおりはもう私の前で弱音を吐くことはなくなったから。
Back then, I had a feeling that something like this was happening, because that's when Shiori stopped coming to me to vent about her life. Game? Game? If I'd gone in guns blazing, I would have only ended up making the same mistake Riku did.
もし命の危機にあるなら、警察や児童相談所にすぐ通報しなくちゃならない。だが、言葉を選ばずに言うと、現状はまだそこまで行っていないんだろ?
If her life is in danger, then of course I'd have to call the police or child protection services right away. But just to be totally clear here, things haven't gotten to that point yet, right?
もちろん、児童相談所は万能じゃない。児相が動いたら解決というわけじゃないんだ。
Child protective services aren't some omnipotent authority. There's no guarantee their involvement will solve everything.
一時保護にしても、連れて行かれたと思って別のトラブルを起こす親もいるし、保護施設は子供にとって居心地のいい場所でないことも事実らしい。
Even when a child is placed in protective care, the parents may feel their kids have been unfairly taken away and cause all sorts of trouble. And the reality is that the foster care system is far from perfect in itself.
さっきも言った通り、しおりちゃんはもう高校生だ。俺たちから見ればまだ子供だけど、カオルから見ればどうだ?
Like I said before, Shiori-chan's already in high school. From our point of view, she's still a child. But what about in your eyes?
考えられるよ、自分で。しおりはきっと私よりよっぽど頭がいい。スマホだって持ってるから、いろいろ調べられる。
She can think for herself. She's much smarter than I am. She has a phone, meaning she has various resources at her fingertips.
だとすれば、しおりちゃん自身がどう思うかが重要だ。結果的に児童相談所へ相談が行くとしても、 本人の話は必ず聞くはずだ。暴力があったかどうかも含めてね。
If that's the case, then you need to let Shiori-chan do what she thinks is best for herself. If things do ultimately escalate and Child Protective Services get involved, then talk to her about what's going on, including any abuse allegations.
でも嘘をつくことだって。
But she'll just lie.
あるかもしれない。けどそれはしおりちゃんなりに嘘をつく理由があるからのはずだ。その意思を無視はできない。
She might, and if she does, then it'll be because she has her own reasons for doing so. You can't ignore that she's her own person with her own free will, even if she may be getting gaslit.
なら私一人でもしおりとお父さんの話を聞いて。
In that case, what if I just talk to them, the two of them on my own?
話をするなら友達としてしおりちゃんとだけに留めておきなさい。友達としてできることは限られている。
If you feel like you need to do something, then talk to Shiori-chan by herself as a friend. But understand that as a friend, there's only so much you can do. As if sensing I'm about to start arguing once more, my mom interjects. Her voice is firm and unyielding. It's the first time I've seen her like this.
一人で立ち向かうっていう言葉はかっこいい。でも大人の男の人ってね、危ないんだよ。
It may sound cool to talk about standing up for your friend all by yourself, but we're talking about an adult man here. You'd be putting yourself in danger.
体も大きいし、力の強さなんて比べるまでもない。プロの女性アスリートだって高校生の男子に負けちゃうこともあるくらい根本的に違うの。
He's bigger than you and unquestionably stronger. There are sports where even professional female athletes can lose to high school boys. That's how big the fundamental difference is.
だからもししおりちゃんのお父さんが暴力を振るっているとしたら、そんな人の前にかおちゃんを行かせられない。危ないことはしないでほしいの。
If what you're saying is true and Shiori-chan's father really is abusing her, then I won't let you go anywhere near him. I don't want you to put yourself in danger unless you're carrying a strap. What?
ならしおりこそ危険な目に遭ってるってことじゃん。
But Shiori's in danger right now.
そうだね。
Oh, we've been going for a long time.
だからこそ大人が何とかしなくちゃいけない問題なの。
You're right. That's why this is a problem best handled by adults.
今は分かってもらえないかもしれないけど、お母さんにとってはかおちゃんが一番大事なの。それはお父さんも同じ。
You may not understand it now, but as your mom, it's incredibly important that you listen to me. And your dad, too.
お友達が心配なのはカオルの優しくていいところだ。だけど適切な行動が必要だ。あえてこう言うけど何もしないことが優しさな時もある。相手のことを思うならこそだ。
It's very kind of you to worry about your best friend, but you need to tread carefully. This may be hard to hear, but sometimes the kindest thing to do is nothing at all. If you care about her, don't make things any worse for her. I have no energy left to argue with them about this anymore. At the same time, I have to admit that what they're saying makes sense. I'd probably be more argumentative if Riku hadn't opened up to me about what she'd experienced in middle school, but I understand that doing what my emotions tell me won't be enough to solve this problem. 28 stab wounds.
結局私が子供ってことだね。
You didn't want to leave him a chance, huh? So what you're saying is I'm still just a dumb kid. I snap at them before stalking out of the living room. I'm aware that I'm simply venting my anger on them, like my mom pointed out earlier. I'm throwing a childish temper tantrum, and I know it, which only makes me feel like even more of a failure. Rest in peace, Kaoru's self-esteem. It's
かお
morning.
ちゃん、まだ寝てるのかな。私もう出るからね。
I'm considering whether
朝
or
ごはん
not
は作って冷蔵庫にあるから温めてね。
I'm considering whether or not I want to continue continuing the episode, considering we're so far in already. I think I will. And if the video ends here, it's because I decided to not include it. So, and if this is a new video, it means that I decided that it was a better spot to stop the previous episode 17 there, and welcome to episode 18. But if not, I guess we're continuing episode 17. Cow-chan, are you still sleeping? I'm about to head out. I left breakfast in the fridge so you can heat it up whenever you're hungry. I hear my mom calling to me from the hall outside my room. I have a feeling she's well aware that I've been awake for quite some time, having been up all night watching IVE music videos. Regardless, I pretend like I'm still asleep. I think back to how things used to be before I met Shiori. I really am a dumb kid. I fought with them about Shiori's home life and had a full-blown temper tantrum. It really brought home how powerless and ignorant I am. Shiori. Let's put confessions of love and dating aside for the moment. Right now, all I want is to be able to see Shiori and ask what's going on. Her fever just came on yesterday, so even if she's doing better today, I doubt she's out of the woods yet. As long as I make sure to leave before Shiori's father returns, we can avoid a repeat of the situation Shiori ended up in the night before. That's what I tell myself, so I make up my mind to visit Shiori at her house once more. One more time, I'm going to see Shiori at her in front of Minagi House on July 21st. I leave for her house about 2 hours earlier than I did yesterday, and they play the same violin song that they played when we saw her brother's grave. There's nothing to do at home, and I'm far too restless to just sit around. I happen to arrive at Shiori's house at the exact same time she's about to leave. Oh, perfect. This is perfect timing. Tachibana-san?
しおり、あのさ、昨日は
Shiori. So, about yesterday.
昨日はありがとうございました。ご迷惑をおかけしてしまってすみません。すごく助かりました。それより今日はどうなさったんですか？
I really appreciate everything you did for me, and I'm sorry for making you go out of your way for my sake. You were a huge help. Anyway, what are you up to today?
だってしおり病み上がり、心配になって。お父さんが仕事の時間なら大丈夫かなって。しおりの方こそどうして制服？
Shouldn't you be in bed? I was worried about you, so I hoped it would be okay if I stopped by to check on you while your father's at work. Why are you wearing your uniform?
塾に行くんです。夏休みの時間割になって、
Excuse me.
夜からだけじゃなくなりましたから。
I'm going to cram school. Classes run all day during summer break, not just at night.
具合は？
How are you feeling?
おおむね熱は下がりました。ですから問題は。
My fever is mostly gone. The only problem now is... Whoa! I placed my hand on her forehead, interrupting her. She doesn't feel as hot as she did yesterday, but she's still nowhere near a normal temperature. She still looks as hot as she did yesterday, though.
熱下がりきってないじゃん。休んでた方がいいよ、絶対。
You still got a fever. You definitely need to rest.
できません。行かなくてはダメですから。
I can't. I have to go. My words are lost in her. I guess you could say that words fail. Words fail. She's not listening to me. She's dead set on attending class, and I have no idea how to change her mind.
どうして？
Why though?
塾の予定があるんですから。これくらいの微熱なら行くのが当たり前ですよ。
I have a class schedule today, so I can't call it sick just because of a slight fever. Wait a second, her dad's at work but the car is still in the driveway? How suspicious. What did he do, walk to work?
塾はお金を払った後は休んだ分の振り替えはありませんから。行かなくちゃもったいないんです。
There's a no refund policy, no matter what the reason behind having to miss a class. It'd be a waste of money not to go.
わかるよそれ。でも本当にそれだけ？
Okay, sure. But is that really the only reason?
はい。
Yes.
しおりはお兄さんみたいになることをやめるって決めて、自分の進路を探してる途中なんだよね。だから塾に行き続けて幅を狭めないようにするっていうのは全然いいと思う。
Let me turn the voices back up, because I feel like the problem before was that the BGM was too quiet and the voices were too loud, but now I feel like the voices are too quiet. I don't know, the audio balance for this game is kind of all over the place. You said you decided to stop trying to become like your brother and find your own path in life. So with that said, it makes sense you'd want to keep attending cram school so you can keep your options open.
でも昨日あれだけの熱を出して今日も熱があるのに無理していくのは違うと思う。
But you had a terrible fever yesterday, and you still haven't fully recovered. I don't think you should force yourself to go.
どうしたんですかもう。心配してもらえるのは嬉しいですけど、薬も持ってますし、本当に大丈夫ですから。私意外と丈夫なんです。
Why are you acting this way? I'm glad you're worried about me, but you already brought me medicine and I'm fine now. I'm actually surprisingly resilient.
来てもらったばっかりで申し訳ないんですが、もう行かなくてはいけないので、せっかくですし、一緒に駅に行きましょう。
I know you just got here, but I'm sorry, I really have to go. Since you're already here, let's walk to the station together.
お父さんに怒られるから。
You don't want your father to get mad at you, right? I murmur under my breath just as Shiori is about to walk away from me. Hearing my words, she comes to an abrupt stop, and fortunately, the music does not come to an abrupt stop.
少しは怒られるかもしれませんけれど、私が塾を休んじゃったら怒られても仕方ないことですよ。
See? Her eyes are doing the thing. They've been doing it pretty much the whole time. He probably would be a little mad. Why wouldn't he be if I suddenly decided to skip the class he paid for?
本当にそれだけ？
Is that really it?
どうしてそんなに気になるんですか？
Why does it even matter to you?
昨日の夜帰る直前にしおりがお父さんから怒鳴られてるのが聞こえちゃった。盗み聞きするつもりはなかったけど、あのボリュームじゃそもそも近所にも聞こえてたと思う。
Last night, before I was about to head home, I heard your father yelling at you. I hadn't planned on listening in or anything, but he was loud enough that I could hear him from out on the street.
恥ずかしいところ聞かれちゃいましたね。でも私が悪いんです。ただ熱が出たくらいなのに自分で何とかできなかったんですから。
See what they don't understand, but I'm sure I as the player and I'm sure you as the viewer understand, and what Kaoru sort of understands is that she's being gaslit. So like they're always like, oh, if she wants to do something about it, then she'll do something about it herself, you know, she can take care of herself. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. When have you ever seen somebody being abused in any relationship, in any context, with the means to get out of that situation, but still staying into it? It's not because they're just like, ah, yes, I like this. This is enjoyable for me. I mean, maybe some people are like that, you know? I don't know. Maybe there are some people who really are gonna put their money where their mouth is when they say that they want a yandere girlfriend. I'm just saying, for probably 99% of the population, that is not the case. I'm embarrassed that you overheard that, but I deserved it. I shirked my duties because of nothing more than a simple fever, an Indiana fever.
おかしい。それはおかしいよ。
That's not normal. It's seriously weird. I somehow just barely managed to stop myself from shouting at her in frustration. She's so blatantly in denial that I find myself growing increasingly irritated in response, though I know it's not her fault. Which is exactly why I have to push further, even though I hate feeling like I'm interrogating her.
傷も見ちゃった。
I saw the marks on your body. Holding back my emotions, I say those simple words. Can this music really just get out of here? She looks stunned for a moment before glancing away, as if trying to hide her feelings. This music is not it. It's just not it. I would honestly prefer dead silence at some point. The fact that they keep looping this track is really pulling me out of this scene. Not gonna lie. I thought about being more vague, but in the end, I decided to lay it all out there. I knew if I didn't say something now, she'd build another wall, this time between us.
もしあれがお父さんからの暴力だったら、児童相談所とか警察とかに相談した方がいいよ。だってあんなに具合の悪い娘に怒鳴るだけでも普通じゃない。
If your father is physically abusing you, then you really need to talk to someone in Child Protective Services or the police or something. Treating your own daughter like that when she's sick isn't normal.
それは人として最低なことだと思う。
Don't know about that one. I think anyone who's capable of something like that is scum. I wouldn't. That might be coming out a little hard, Kaoru. That might have the opposite effect of what you're trying to do.
やめてください。
Stop, please. The words she manages to squeeze out are far from what I'd been expecting to hear. I'd assumed that, like in the past, she'd quickly put up a wall while feeding me excuses. But I'd been wrong. Seeing her shoulders trembling, I immediately regret everything I've said.
お父さんを悪く言うのはやめてください。
Stop it. Don't call my father a bad person. See, this is what I was talking about. You don't really ever want to go there with the personal attacks.
ごめん。
I'm sorry. A chill races up my spine. Oh, waves of crushing regret. Waves of crushing regret wash over me at my own thoughtless words. I quickly realize that there are no words I can say to apologize for this. You know the drill, words fail, blah blah blah. All I'm doing is forcing my own viewpoint and values on her. After all, this is Shiori's father.
お父さんは私の唯一の家族なんですよ。
My father is the only family I have left.
ごめん、本当にそんなつもりじゃ。
I'm sorry. Really, I didn't mean to. An apology is a self-serving act. She's not interested in my excuses. I know that, and yet I can't just stand there silently.
仮に暴力があったとして通報したらどうなるかご存知ですか？
Even if he was abusing me, do you know what would happen if I told anyone about it?
助けてもらえるんでしょ。
You'd get help, right?
ええ、状況によっては隔離保護対象になります。保護先の施設は基本的に私物の持ち込み禁止、外部との連絡禁止。必要な措置とはいえ留置所と同等の扱いと言われることもあります。
Sure, I might qualify for protective custody. I wouldn't be able to take in any personal belongings or contact anyone outside the facility. Those measures exist because they're necessary, but I'd effectively be imprisoned. Your dad watches a lot of Western movies, right, Tachibana-san? You ever watch Goodfellas with him?
立花さんももちろんこれくらいは調べて言ってくださったんだと思います。けれどそういうこと以上に私にとってどういう意味があるかわかりますか？
I'm sure you've done enough research to know that much, right, Tachibana-san? But beyond that, do you understand exactly what that would mean to me?
だってそれでも安全な場所に。
Huh? But at least she'd be safe.
私にとっては唯一の肉親と強制的に引き剥がされるってことなんです。
It would mean I'd be forcibly ripped apart from the only close family member I have left in the world. It's something I understand in theory alone, which really means I don't understand it at all. Hearing the weight in her words is what finally makes me realize I can't possibly know how she feels.
しおり。
She stumbles backward while holding her head. I try to run to her, but she keeps me at arm's length while getting back onto her feet without my help.
それに父からぶたれることは今はもうないんです。これは本当です。
Also, just so you know, my father doesn't hit me anymore. That's the truth.
じゃあ、あの傷は腕のはしおりの言う通りかもしれないけど、体のは絶対転んでできた傷じゃないはず。
Then what about your injuries? I can accept that you might have accidentally cut your arm, but there's no way you got those other ones from simply falling down.
自分でやりました。
I did it to myself. I knew that this is where this was going in this moment, and I thought about saying it earlier. I thought about this way back, when they were talking about the injury, like when she first came over with the fever and she was noticing the injuries and stuff like that. I thought about that, especially the inner thigh one, and especially when she mentioned like scars and stuff like that. I thought about it. I just wasn't gonna say anything. But I don't know. Just something tipped me off, and I think I'm gonna go to the store page. I'm pretty sure they make a reference to this in the thing. Yeah. Game contains the following: suggestive language, depiction of a romantic relationship between a student and a teacher, partial nudity, alcohol and tobacco use. I haven't seen the tobacco use. References to physical abuse, self-harm, and suicide, and other mature themes that may not be suitable for all ages. So initially, I thought we got past the suicide and self-harm stuff. I thought that was just about her brother. But it floated around in the back of my mind as a possibility. And here we are. So I don't think I'm going to have a hook clip for this. I don't think there's going to be a hook clip. I think this is going to be one very long episode, and there will definitely be a content advisory warning at the start of this video. So add it to the list. We got domestic abuse and we got self-harm. What?
私が自分でやったんです。嘘だって思うかもしれませんけど、真実なんですよ。
But can I be serious for a moment? If there was ever a time to cut the music, it would be now. Stop the music. I do not want to listen to this violin anymore. You know what? Somebody's got to add some sort of levity to this game, because the game certainly isn't doing it. We're getting rid of this background music. I'm not dealing with it anymore. I don't want to listen to it anymore. If I ever hear that track again, it'll be too soon. I did it to myself. You probably think I'm lying, but I'm telling you the truth. Her words are so shocking that I find myself left speechless. My thoughts turn back to the multitudes of scars covering her body. So the problem is, I don't know if they've changed the music. Nope. And in light of what Shiori just told me, I realized something. Every single scar was in a place Shiori would have been able to reach with her own hands.
So れ以上は聞かないでください。分かって欲しかったのは、通報するようなことは何もないってことです。
Please don't ask me any more questions. I just wanted you to know that there's no need for you to do anything. Now, I will say, not that I'm saying that I think this, but does this now raise the possibility that we have framed everything that we've seen through Kadu's perspective has been framed incorrectly? Has this now changed to the first thing is, does her dad know about this? Is the first thing. Well, I guess the first question is, the first thing is, does her dad know about this? The second question is, if he doesn't know about it, is he, well, regardless of whether or not he knows about it, is he still just like a raging asshole? Or are we incorrectly reading this situation to where her father yelling yesterday was him yelling at her about this stuff? Like, I don't even remember what he said at this point. But has Kaoru fed into her confirmation bias about what she already thinks about Shiori's dad based on what Riku tells her? I don't think she is. I think it really is what she thinks it is. But it is just something that could possibly be happening in light of this new information that Kaoru was learning about Shiori. So I don't really think that's the case, but it could be. There's a sense of finality in her voice. She's pushing me away.
変わったと思ったけれど全然まだダメでした。自分で決めるのってすごく大変なんですね。だから私はこれまで通りでいようと思います。
I thought I changed, but it still isn't anywhere near enough. Figuring things out like this for oneself it's just too hard for me, which is why I'm simply gonna stay on the path I've been following up until now.
立花さんとはきっと友達でいるのが一番幸せなんだと思います。お互いに。だってやっぱり私は根本的に立花さんとは違いますから。
I'm not denying that the time I spent with you as my friend was some of the happiest in my life, and I'm sure the feeling is mutual. But at the end of the day, the two of us are simply incompatible.
待ってしおり、私しおりともう一回ちゃんと話したい、伝えたいことあるから。
Wait, Shiori, I need one more chance at a proper conversation with you. There's something I need to say.
私にはありません。
But I have nothing to say to you. I feel myself starting to panic. This rejection feels far more absolute than when she refused to accept my apology the other day at school. Has the music been fixed? Nope. Now it's not the part of her that wanted to be a model student and follow in her brother's footsteps, but Shiori's own heart drawing a firm line between us. Heart.
夏休み明けまた会いましょう。
I'll see you at school when summer break is over. And with that, she begins to walk away, the soles of her shoes thudding loudly against the pavement. And since the game isn't going to do it, I'll do it. Her flawless posture hides any hint that she might not be in the best of health. I can sense how definitive this moment is.
立花さんは何も分かっていません。私、立花さんには何も起こっていませんから。
Why do they keep using this music? Get another track. You don't understand anything, Tachibana-san. I'm not angry at you in the slightest.
立花さんは自分がなんで私に謝っているのかを自分でちゃんと分かっているんですか？
Okay, maybe I can bring the music back for this, now that they're done talking. I felt like the music was not helping. It should have been a different track, or they should have cut it at certain points and restarted it. But no, it was not helping that scene. Do you even know what you're apologizing to me for, Tachibana-san? It's not like before, when she just wanted me to understand where she was coming from. She gradually grows smaller as she continues to walk away from me, and yet, I can't seem to say anything to stop her. And yet, there's no way I can just let this happen.
やだ、終わりにしたくない私。だってこれから始まるんだよ、私たち。
No, I don't want this to end. I mean, things between us have only just begun. We only have 2 more chapters left in the game. You can't reject me now. Is this game gonna have a bad ending?
まだ言えてないことあるのに。
There's still something I need to tell you. I shout at the top of my lungs. Well, I didn't shout, but Shiori doesn't even pause. And it's not long before she vanishes from my sight. I have no idea if she can hear me anymore. I have no idea if there's anything I could say that would make her listen. But that doesn't stop me from screaming anyway. From the bottom of my heart, I cry out. Oh. So this is like that evening. See, we needed something like this.
自分の言いたいことだけ言って
We needed something like this. We did not need that same violin crescendo, like crescendoing and decrescendoing over and over again. Not it. Seriously suck. All I cared about was getting the chance to tell her what I wanted to say without a thought towards Shiori at all. I'm wandering aimlessly through Yokohama Station. I let my emotions get the better of me and spoke out of turn, from a place of ignorance, resulting in Shiori cutting me off completely. The distance between us right now is different from anything I've experienced thus far. In fact, one might say the emptiness of summer break itself is what's keeping us apart. Unable to stand this feeling of having nowhere to go, I spend the rest of the day window shopping and staring off into the ocean. I feel like I'm right back where I started from.
子供のままだいつまでも
I'm trying to metagame here, since we got that glitched CG gallery that showed us some stuff we weren't supposed to see. I think we still got I think we actually got 3 more CGs until that CG with Mire that we saw that was a glitch. I'm just a dumb kid. I always will be.
それを分かり始めたら大人への第一歩なんじゃないかと思うよ。
Understanding that is the first step towards growing up, you know.
その声先生
Huh? That voice. Sensei?
立花は目立つんだから独り言なんてこぼさない方がいいよ。
You stand out of the crowd, Tachibana, so it's probably better not to go around talking to yourself.
マジ聞こえたの
You seriously hear everything I've been saying?
ほんと子供のままだいつまでも。
I'm just a dumb kid, and I always will be. I'm already annoyed that she repeated what I'd said word for word, but then she keeps going.
最低だなやっぱり。しおりのこと何も考えず自分の言いたいことだけ言ってとも。
Also, I seriously suck. All I cared about was getting the chance to tell her what I wanted to say, without a thought towards Shiori at all.
そこから聞いてたの
You heard that too?
喋ってたのはそっちでしょ。
You were the one talking out loud.
いやそうだけどそれよりなんで先生が
Look, I know that, but... Anyways, what are you doing here?
なんでって仕事の帰り。立花がここにいる方が疑問だけど。しかもやけに元気ないし。
I don't like that
待ち合
her...
わせすっぽかされた。
I don't like that her sprite isn't looking at Kaoru or, like, the player. It's like her sprites were always positioned to be on the left side of the screen looking at Kaoru. And, I don't know, it feels like their sprite should be reversed. She's looking off the screen. She's not looking at anything. She's not looking at the player. She's not looking at Kaoru. It just feels weird. What do you mean? I'm coming home from work. I'm the one who should be asking you that. You're looking so down in the dumps to boot. Did you get stood up?
そういうのじゃない
Not exactly. I know exactly what she's implying. The fact that she's not entirely wrong only pisses me off even more.
用事がないんだったら長居しない方がいいよ。立花は可愛いんだから。ナンパされても面倒でしょ。
If you don't have any business here, then you should probably move along. You're a pretty girl, so it's only a matter of time until you attract the attention of some scummy pickup artist.
うん
Right.
じゃ私はこれで。
Well, I'll see you around.
待って
Wait,
どうしたの？
what's up? I call out without thinking, stopping her from leaving. I realize it's not love that makes me want to keep her here right now.
私の元担任教師として聞いてほしい話があるんだ
As my former teacher, there's something I need you to hear.
珍しいね。いいよ。じゃあ場所変えよっか。
This isn't it like you at all. Go ahead. Well, actually, how about we move this somewhere else first? Dun dun dun. Dun 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 dun. Promenade. Promenade.
なるほどね。
I see. We moved somewhere a little quieter than Yokohama Station, which was packed full of people coming home from work. Where, it's the same place that she dumped me, though I don't really care about that right now, leaving those bad memories aside, the moderate number of people milling about, coupled with the nice breeze, is actually kind of relaxing in a way. I give Sensei a rundown on the whole situation regarding Shiori and her father. That she'd been physically abused during middle school, how I'd had my suspicions that the abuse had restarted, the conversation I had with my parents, going to see Shiori at their house, and her admission of self-harm. Sensei takes a deep breath before giving me a gentle pat on the back. There.
まず感情的に踏み込みすぎて稲城ちゃんの父親に直談判したり条件反射で通報したりしなかったのは偉い。
First off, you absolutely overstepped due to your emotional investment. It's very fortunate that your impulses didn't lead you to confront Minagi-chan's father directly, or get the police involved.
もやもやすることは多いだろうけど現状の立花の行動は正しい。だからその点についてはまず安心しな。
I know your head must be a mess right now, but you did the right thing. So on that point, at least, you can rest easy.
ありがとう。
Thanks. I really mean it too. I thought she'd have more to say about what I'd done, so hearing those words of affirmation from her instead is deeply reassuring.
私は専門家じゃないしもう学校の教師は引退した身だからここからは話半分に聞いてくれ。
I'm no expert or anything, and I don't teach children anymore, so take what I have to say with a grain of
わ
salt.
かった。
Okay.
教師をやっていると似たようなケースに直面することはある。もっとも私の場合は立花との件が一番大きな問題とは言えるけどね。
I dealt with similar things throughout my career. Well, speaking for myself, your own situation was the one that gave me the most difficulty.
それはさておき当時は同僚やそれこそかよからも似た例を聞いたことがある。みなぎちゃんとは別の学年でね。
Leaving that aside, I've heard similar stories from colleagues, including Kaio. Though the student in question was in a different grade from Minagi-chan.
対応に関して立花のご両親が言ってたことは一理ある。っていうかそれ自体は立花も分かっているでしょ。
And your parents were right in their approach to dealing with it. Well, I'm sure you know that already, don't you? Yeah.
あと気になるのはみなぎちゃんは体の怪我を自分でやったって言ってたんだよね。それも十分にあり得ることだ。
As far as your other concerns go, Minagi-chan told you that the scars that you saw on her body were self-inflicted. That's absolutely possible.
自傷行為に関する相談も前の学校にいた頃受けたことがある。リスカやアムカのイメージが強いけど当然それだけじゃない。
I was taught how to handle students who self-harmed at my previous school. Most people think of self-harm as cutting, whether on the wrist or arms, but that's not the only way, of course.
皮膚を剥いでしまうのも自分を殴るのも吐くまで食べてしまうのも自分を傷つけてしまう行為だからね。
Skin picking, hitting yourself, forcing yourself to eat until you vomit. Those are all acts of self-harm. Shiori's injuries weren't just bruises. There was the cut on her arm from when she supposedly tripped and fell on something sharp. That was most likely self-inflicted as well. Sensei's talking about all this in a cold and clinical way, but I understand why.
しおりはなんで自分を傷つけたんだろう。だって痛いじゃん。なのにどうして。
Why did she hurt herself? I mean, it hurts, right? Doesn't make any sense to me. Well, to add some brevity to this not so brevis, maybe that, I don't know if that's a word, situation. In the words of 21 Pilots. Sometimes you have to bleed to know that you're alive and got a soul.
みなぎちゃんがどうかはわからないけど、痛みや苦しみは時に人を落ち着かせる。
I can't speak for Minagi-chan herself, but the pain can have a calming effect on some people.
比べちゃいけないって前提で言うけどさ、悪って分かってて酒を飲みすぎるのもその一種だよ。
It's not exactly comparable, but drinking too much alcohol when you know you'll throw it up all later could be considered similar.
わかんないよ。
I don't get it.
無理に分かろうとするもんじゃないよ。分かっても分からなくてもどっちでもいい。
You shouldn't force yourself to understand. It's fine even if you don't.
現に自称で生きてる実感を得たり、精神を安定させたりする子は多い。男女問わず、特に思春期。
The fact is, many children feel more alive or emotionally stable when they self-harm. It tends to happen most often during adolescence, regardless of gender.
構ってほしくて、同情してほしくて。SNS に画像をアップするケースもよく見るし、自己懲罰的に自傷行為を繰り返す子も少なくない。
Some want attention and sympathy, and so they share photos of their injuries on social media. Many others engage in self-harm as a form of punishment.
自分で自分に罰を与えるってこと？
So you're saying they're punishing themselves? I feel like Mide's voice is getting too close to Shiori's, although Shiori's has a different kind of, like, tone to it. She's like, and Mide's voice is like, well... I have to do the movements too. I have to do the movements when I'm doing her voice. It's you don't understand. It's a very important part of her voice.
そうだね。自分の理想を叶えられなかったり、親からの期待に応えられなかったり、理由はいろいろあるんだろうけど、自分を傷つけて自分を納得させる。
Right. For not fulfilling their dreams or meeting their parents' expectations. There are all kinds of reasons, but the point is that by hurting themselves, they can try to atone.
これもある意味では精神の安定のためって言えるのかな。話を聞く限りでは、みなぎちゃんは自己懲罰の傾向があるんじゃないかと予想できる。
With that in mind, it can act as a kind of stress relief. From what I've heard about this girl, it sounds like she might be inclined to punish herself.
部外者がとやかく言うべきじゃないけど、一つの仮説としてね。
As an unrelated party, I can't come to any definitive conclusions, but that would be my educated guess.
しおりはよく自分が悪いんですとかそういうことを言ってた。
Yuri often puts herself down and blames herself for things that happen. Sensei listens to my response and nods quietly. She takes out her e-cigarette and is about to vape, but then apparently realizes smoking is prohibited where we're standing because she puts the device back in her pocket.
これ以上私が邪推するのはやめておこうか。
Oh, I guess there's the
大
tobacco,
切なのは
sort of.
思い込みをなくして本人ときちんと向き合うことだからね。
Well, I shouldn't speculate any further. The most important thing here is to stop making assumptions and talk to the person in question directly.
ただ言えるのは、きっとみなぎちゃんは痛みに慣れてしまってる。それは怖いことだよ。
I will say though, that she's probably grown used to the pain at this point. That's when things get scary.
エスカレートしてくってこと？
Are you saying she could escalate?
もちろんそれもある。でもそれだけじゃなくて、そうだな。私がタバコを吸ってないと落ち着かないように、痛みがないと落ち着かなくなる。
It's entirely possible. But not only that, it's like how I have trouble relaxing without a cigarette. She may have trouble calming herself down without feeling pain.
そっか。習慣になっちゃってるんだ。
I see. You're saying it's become a habit. Well, it sounds like She needs to be breaking the habit tonight.
かよには連絡しておくよ。心配かもしれないけど、今はそれが最善手だ。きっと。
I'll give Kaio a heads up. I know you're worried, but it seems like the best move right now. Then, as if anticipating what I'm about to say in response, she continues.
ニュースやネットだと、教師や児相が何もできなかったことばかり報道される。けどそれ以上に、助けられた人はたくさんいる。
You hear all the time on the news about the kids that teachers and guidance counselors weren't able to help. But there are a lot of kids out there that we can do something for.
その事実からも、目は背けないでほしい。
I don't want you to let yourself forget about that. I don't want you to let yourself forget about that.
わかった。
Okay.
みなぎちゃんはお父さんが好きなんだろうね。きっと本当に。だから引き離されそうになって拒絶するのもわかる。丁寧に向き合って話を聞かないといけない。
Minagi-chan really loves her father, doesn't she? I'm sure she does, and the fear of being separated from him is why she pushed you away. You're going to have to be more thoughtful and open-minded moving forward.
暴力振るわれてた時期もあって、具合悪い時にあんなに厳しくされてるのに。
He used to physically abuse her, and he even treated her harshly when she was sick. She'd go out of his way to make his favorite food for dinner when she got good grades, and he'd occasionally take her out to a restaurant or on a shopping trip. Their relationship seems twisted from my perspective, but I know I can't just unilaterally break them apart. Sensei flicks the lid of the e-cigarette case open and shut several times before putting it back in her pocket with a sigh.
それでも一緒にいたいって言うんだから、家族って何なんだろうね。
And yet, even after all that, the fact that she wants to stay with him shows that she still considers him family.
立花には話したよね。私、祖父母もとっくにこの世にいないし、父親は私が大学出てすぐ死んじゃったこと。
I'm pretty sure I told you this before, but my grandparents are long gone, and my father died soon after I graduated from university.
おじいさんおばあさんのことは初めて聞いたけど、先生の口ぶりからそういうことだと思ってた。
You never mentioned your grandparents before, but I think I remember you telling me the rest.
そっか、そうだったね。とにかく私は母親と仲がいいわけじゃなかったけど、なんだかんだ母親のためってやってきたことも多かった。唯一の家族だったから。
Right. Anyway, I never had a great relationship with my mom, but I did a lot of things for her regardless, because she was the only family I had left. Sensei's words spark a weird itch in the back of my mind. I can't figure out what that's about, but I can figure out what that's about later. For now, I simply wait for her to continue.
さて、元担任の私から言えるのはこんなとこかな。何かの解決にはならなかったかもしれないけど。
Those are my words of wisdom as your former teacher, though I'm not sure if I've actually helped solve anything.
そもそも解決できることなのか、解決した方がいいのかも、なんか全部わかんなくなっちゃった。でも先生に話せてよかった。これは本当。
I'm not sure there was ever a solution to begin with, or if it's something that I should be trying to solve at all. But I'm glad I got to talk to you about it. I mean that. Sensei was right when she said there's so much I don't understand. The one thing I do understand is that there's not much I can do on my own. Unlike in the movies and on TV, there are no easy answers in real life.
ありがとう先生。じゃあそろそろだよね。行こう。
Thanks, Sensei. I should probably get going.
で、ここからは元担任っていうのを抜きにした下月美玲個人としての話。
Before you do, I want to say something. Not as your former teacher, but as Shimotsuki Mide. Just as I'm about to head in the direction of the station, she suddenly speaks up. I stopped and turned back to face her.
私は見るからに元気のない立花も心配だ。今日ちゃんとご飯食べた？
Seeing you looking this miserable makes me worry about you. Did you remember to eat anything today?
そういえば食べてない。
Now that you mention it, no.
やっぱり私からすればまず目の前の立花をどうにかしてあげたいよ。
I figured that I can solve one problem today at least.
そうかな。そんなこと。
I mean, you don't have to.
ある。この時間から連れ回すのも望ましくないし。そうだね。またうちに来る？
I do. This probably isn't the best time to drag you around town, so... I know. How about you come over to my place again? She asked me in a cheerful tone of voice. I nodded without even thinking about it. For some reason, I'm reminded of the first night she brought me to her apartment. Mocha. I don't like that Mocha fades out to like this white outline. It looks really weird.
なんかちょっと汚くなってない？
Isn't it kind of a mess in here?
悪かったね。最近忙しかったんだよ。でも第一声がそれはどうかと思うけど。
Sorry, I've been busy lately. Though that's still a pretty rude thing to say the moment you walk in. It's been exactly 2 weeks since I last stopped by. Oh dang, that does look bad. I know this is kind of a weird spot, but I think No, if I think I'm gonna stop it here. I think this is just gonna have to be one long episode. It's gonna be one long episode. 1 meter. We're going back to the title screen. This is gonna be one long episode. Because the cutoff point was like at 1:20. It's only been 47 minutes since then, but it's not long enough to be its own episode. So we're just gonna have a long one today. I'll cut out some stuff, so it won't quite be as long as I'm looking at the timer in OBS. But thank you all for watching this episode of UsoNatsu. Man, this episode, it's gonna be hard. I think it's gonna be hard for me to edit this as far as like clips. Yeah, so this one is the one that we saw before that was glitched of her at the festival. So we had 2 more. I thought we had 3 more. I guess I forgot that this was right here. So we got this and then this. Actually, this looks just like... Oh wait, hold on. Oh, that's actually really interesting. Oh. Interesting. I can't believe I never noticed that before. This is the very beginning when she's yelling about Sensei, and Shiori finds her. Huh. I guess I never noticed that just wasn't part of this. Oh, it's not quite her mom's hair. It's kind of similar though. This is her back in middle school. Yeah, I can't believe that it feels like... Wow, I can't believe that it feels like not that long ago. They were playing tennis and watching scary movies and cooking together and being blushy-crushy and dressing to impress and everything. And then we got to like all this stuff with their relationship, to the vacation and this big stuff, and now we're back to like bam, bam. Shiori's dad yells at her and she cuts herself. I feel like we've been on such a wild ride, and we still have, I think, 2 chapters to go. Yeah, I tried my best. I didn't want to be like too flippant about any of this stuff because it really is a serious topic, and it needs to be treated with the severity that it entails. But I also like didn't want to just have a doomy gloomy episode about like her getting abused by her dad and her cutting herself. I feel like that would really just like ruin some people's days. And I wanted to lighten things up a little bit, if I can. Just because, I mean, it really is bad. But thank you all once again for watching this episode of UsoNatsu, and I will see you all again next week. Also, be sure to watch out for a thing about what game to play next. I know I said no sleep for Kaname Date, or maybe I cut that out at some point in a previous episode, but just be thinking about what games you might want me to play next, and I'll have that poll up with the games that I'm considering. So just keep that in the back of your mind as we get closer and closer to the end of UsoNatsu. And with that, Visual Neon out!